take over. So thank you so much. So Eguana is a company that's been around for 20 years. It's power controls company, power conversion company. We've always made basically inverters for the solar market for now 20 years now. For the past 7 years, we've been focused on energy storage. So the goal here is to obviously introduce you to Eguana's products, a little background on the company and who we're partnered with. So as mentioned, Eguana has grid interactive energy storage solutions. That's global footprint. Currently partnered with companies such as LG Chem, Pylon Tech. Those are lithium battery module suppliers. That's who we use in our energy storage systems. It's the system. We'll go into the system itself, but wanted to just give a background on who Eguana is. So Eguana is the brain of the energy storage system. We're in our 3rd generation with our bidirectional inverter. We've got about 35 megawatts of it installed and 6,000 energy storage systems. Again, I mentioned that we have a global footprint. So Eguana I'm in Pasadena, California. I do sales for Eguana here in Pasadena. We have a sales office. We also have a warehouse here. We do a lot of the assembly here in Santa Ana, California. Company's headquartered in Calgary, Alberta. Also, we have a footprint in we have offices in Germany, as well as Australia and Hawaii. So Eguana currently has about 200, we call solar dealer partners all across the US and Caribbean. Our main distribution partner is CD GreenTech. Pretty much all the CDs in California stock Eguana's product. So if you have an account with CD, you want to get a quote, that would be a good opportunity for you to do so. We've trained about 500 individuals on Eguana's certified solar dealer partner program. So we have a lot of installers out there who are installing Eguana, and hopefully we get a lot more with this webinar. So again, Eguana's, we make the bidirectional inverter that's in the AC coupled energy storage system. It's the highest highest efficient inverter in the marketplace, about 97% round trip efficiency. There's some comparisons with some other companies who also make inverters for energy storage systems. So we can basically take anything under 150 volts DC and turn it over at really high rates. So Eguana product line, in the North America market, we have the Evolve LFP and the Evolve NMC. LFP, lithium iron phosphate, the NMC, which is nickel, manganese, cobalt, that's LG Chem, and the LFP is Pylon Tech. So both of them are AC coupled systems. We'll go into the actual systems and system sizes. Evolve Hub is our energy management system for you Tesla Powerwall dealers. You might think of it like our gateway. So it's the controls, it has the software controller in there, it houses the automatic transfer switch, and does a lot of the algorithms for our energy storage system. And we also have the Elevate product. You can see the Elevate product is our commercial energy storage system. Focuses on demand charge reduction, paired up with solar. It's also AC coupled. It does really good for customers who have high demand charges and want to basically reduce those demand charges by doing some smart peak shaving algorithms. So let's go into the Evolve. The Evolve's an AC coupled system. We've got the Eguana there. If anybody wants background on Eguana, how we got the name, it's kind of interesting. So an Eguana is in the sun all day, stores electricity, stores energy, not electricity, but stores energy. And then at nighttime, it, uses that energy that's stored up. So we thought it was a good spin to have the, Eguana, but put an E on it for energy. So The Evolve product with LG Chem. We've had this product now, have about 6,000 of these installed all across globally. It's AC coupled. We're the only LG Chem partner who offers, who other than their product, the Resu, LG Chem does have their own product called the RESU. Some of you are familiar with that product. It's DC coupled, usually with a solar edge inverter or a storage inverter, or now they got the hub, I believe. So the Eguana is an AC coupled system, but we use LG Chem's low voltage lithium battery modules in a NEMA 3R enclosure. You can see there on the wall there, that's actually a 26 kilowatt hour system. It's got 2 battery cabinets. So we just, basically it's our system with another battery cabinet to basically extend that out. And actually can add a 3rd battery cabinet and you take it to 39 kilowatt hours. It's got a 10-year warranty, and it's very cost competitive in the marketplace compared to other energy storage systems, AC coupled specifically. So the Evolve here, we use, again, the LG Chem. It's rated with the 5 kVA or 5 kilowatt output. It does have a surge capacity. It does do 6 kilowatts for 30 minutes, and it does do 8.5 kilowatts for 5 seconds for motor loads and black start capability. It's a NEMA 3R in California and also in the US market. As you know, being able to put this on a wall outside, on an east facing wall, west facing wall, or even a north facing wall makes a lot of sense, especially in California where there's not a lot of space. So it's very flexible to go indoors or outdoors. S-chip approved. Obviously, we know the S-chip's the driver right now for a lot of these energy storage system purchases in California. There's other schemes in Massachusetts, and there's a lot of incentives all over the U.S. So we are UL certified for 1741, 1973, Rule 21. We've just did our phase 3 smart inverter compliance as well. So, and we have UL 9540 on the full system. So it's good to go here in this marketplace. So one of the things we wanted to do to have more supply in this market where the demand is so high for these systems, we brought in another supplier, Pylon Tech. They're a lithium iron phosphate provider, large company. And since Eguana is we have our bidirectional inverter, so we're the brains in the energy storage system. Basically, we're able to turn over electricity at high rates. So we pretty much can couple with any low voltage product. So we brought Pylon Tech, which is lithium iron phosphate. Go into the benefits here. Obviously, with lithium iron phosphate, there's a safety, reliability behind it as a cobalt-free chemistry. Price is very important for lithium iron phosphate. I think if you get a quote from CD Green Tech, you'll see that we're very competitive in the marketplace. So also a wall mount NEMA 3R, and we can take the temperature range a little bit higher to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. It's modular, so we also could expand it to 28 kilowatt hours by adding another cabinet. And we can go to, it's a 90% DOD, depth of discharge, and it's a 10-year warranty with a 15-year, 6,000 cycle lifespan. We do have, in our control box, we do have 3 cloud communication pathways in the controls. So if your customer has Wi-Fi, or if they have a Ethernet, or we also have a cell modem on there. So that way your customer will have a robust user interface. They'll be able to see, because we house CTs. CTs will go on the main service panel to monitor home loads. Also, CTs will go on the solar to monitor solar production, and CTs will also go on the battery to monitor state of charge of the battery. So your customer will have an in-depth look at all those, their solar production coming off the roof. We'll be able to have a good visibility on home loads, what the home loads are consuming, and then also be able to take a look exactly what the state of charge of the battery. We do have enable emergency reserve. So if there's a power outage coming up, let's say, and we'll have a Q&A after this as well. So if there's a power outage coming up, let's say we know that Saturday power shutoffs are coming from PG&E, the customer will be able to not basically click on the enable emergency reserve, and then it won't cycle for those days. If they want 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of autonomy, whatever it takes. So here's some pictures of the Evolve with LG Chem on the wall on the top. You can see that's a 26 kilowatt hour system. It's AC coupled, and it's wall mounted. And there's actually, here's one outdoors in Georgia where they did 2 systems. They're not in traditional parallel. They're not quote unquote stacked. They have 2 separate load centers. And but this customer wanted to have more things backed up. So we did 2 Eguanas with 2 separate load centers. They run in parallel when the grid's up. When they go into off-grid mode, they run separately. On the wall on the bottom, it's nice and shaded by that tree. So let's get into the installation benefits. Obviously, it's a simple solution. It's all factory integrated, so you don't have to do piecemeal. You don't have to go and buy an inverter, and then you have to go buy, some batteries, some lithium batteries. You don't have to, go buy an automatic transfer switch and buy some controls. So it's all integrated, fully integrated with, again, since Eguana makes the controls and makes the power controls, it's our warranty. That's very important. So since it's our inverter in the boxes, if there's any issues, you just come to Eguana. You don't have to go to like another inverter company. So I think that's important. And then the Evolve Hub. So that's, again, this is our energy management system. It houses the controller. It houses the CTs. It houses automatic transfer switch. We also have auto recovery feature. So if the batteries were to, whatever reason, get drained and go into hibernation mode, basically once the grid goes back up, the system will recover. So you don't have to take a battery off the wall and then return it, or you basically don't have to take an external charge source. So we did that, save you on having to do a truck roll. Truck rolls obviously cost money. And one of the things I mentioned on this is it is VPP capable. So it's virtual power plant capable. It does have the software in there to basically integrate with whatever grid services program you might be, your customer might want to go ahead and apply to, whether it's Southern California Edison's program coming on the horizon, CPA, or if it's in Boston in the Massachusetts market for their smart battery program. They're popping up all over the place. So our system can participate in those programs, add another additional revenue stream for your customers. I see some questions, so we'll go ahead and get to those after in our Q&A session. Thank you. So here's a comparison, Eguana with, you can see we've got Eguana with Tesla, SolarEdge, LG Chem, Sodin. The bottom line here is that Eguana's system kind of hits all the marks, all the check marks here. It's got an auto recovery feature, as mentioned, for areas where maybe they can't have solar for whatever reason. Maybe there's no footprint on the roof. We can still do a backup power only. So it can do just backup power with no solar for a power outage that's coming for a homeowner who can't have solar. We can still function as a backup power source. Let's see. And so this is a customer here in the Bay Area. We did a testimonial with them. And so one of the things with Eguana is we will, for our dealer partners, we like to do a lot of marketing and build content for them. So that's one of the things there. So let me go ahead and pass this on over to EnergySage, and then we'll get into Q&A. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
No, go for it, Kimberly. I just realized I was also still on mute.
Yeah, no worries, Spencer. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join today. We're super excited to present to you and also just, continue the partnership with Iguana. So I'm Kimberly Lee. I've been at EnergySage now for about 6.5 years, and I currently interface with solar installers, primarily in the West Territory, but also, some of the national accounts. So we're really excited to talk to you about, PV and PV and storage and how that all relates to the digital world today. We have a quick agenda. So Spencer is actually going to talk through storage at a very high level. Again, we'll talk through how it relates to the digital world. We'll talk through, who is the modern solar shopper? Everything is going online. So what does that mean when people are actually shopping online for PV and then PV plus storage? And really, right, why online sales? Why does that matter? Not just because of COVID, right? But it's also because everything is going online. People start their research on any major purchase on the interweb. Okay, and then we'll switch gears a little bit and talk through who is EnergySage and what is our role in the solar space. We'll talk through how to sell in a virtual world, and we will also share some tools that we've built to help you sell more solar. And lastly, we'll wrap up with how to win on the platform. It's a very, very unique platform. And so we'll give you all the tips and tricks there. And that's it. Spencer, I'll pass it to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kimberly. And thanks, Courtney and Al, for setting this up and for kicking us off today. My name is Spencer. I'm the manager of market strategy and intelligence at EnergySage, which, as often happens with titles at a startup, is vague, but mostly means that I spend a lot of time thinking about what's happening with our consumers, with the industry, and sort of where it's headed. So I'm going to fly through a bunch of different slides, some of which are from our own data, some of which are from other sort of market leaders and industry thought leaders, some of which are from our recently released Marketplace Intel report, which you can download for free at energysage.com/data. So I think the first thing to say is, why are we all here? Residential energy storage is booming, according to data from Wood Mackenzie Power and Renewables Research. Q2 2020 was the best quarter ever for residential energy storage sales, which I believe you probably are all experiencing. It's also pretty crazy to note that each of the last 5 quarters has been the best quarter ever. So installations are moving up and to the right. The question then becomes, why are customers most interested in energy storage? So on EnergySage, we connect solar shoppers and solar researchers with certified, pre-screened, and vetted installation partners throughout the country. And when those solar shoppers register for an account, we ask them if they're interested in receiving storage quotes, and if so, why. You'll see on this slide the results of why these customers are saying they're interested in storage. And note as well that shoppers can select more than one option. Certainly, primarily customers remain interested in storage for resilience purposes, for emergency backup power, that 2/3 of customers in the yellow bar at the bottom. But it's worth noting that energy storage is increasingly a financial purchase for residential consumers, with nearly 1 out of 2 customers saying that that is why they're interested in energy storage. So, talking about a provider that has one of the lower cost options for the residential storage market is something that I think is very important and a great place to be, certainly when you're facing residential consumers. So where are those residential consumers? This is some data from McKinsey from the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, just saying that more and more people are expected to make a portion, if not all, of their purchases online, not only during the pandemic, but post-pandemic. And so that's happening across the board. And then we're seeing that happen with solar and storage specifically. So we sent a survey around to a nationwide set of solar shoppers and asked them how much more likely they were to shop for solar in storage online now than they were pre-pandemic. 2/3 of customers, 2/3 of homeowners say that they are more likely to shop for solar online now than they were prior to the pandemic, while just under 60% say that they're more likely to shop for storage online now than they were pre-pandemic. So you want to sell storage because it's moving up into the right, and you want to reach the customers of today who are increasingly online. I think it's also worth pointing out that the cost of customer acquisition is increasing for a lot of installation companies throughout the country. In our annual installer survey, which we fielded to, I believe, around 800 different installation companies this January, 34% of respondents said that the cost of acquisition became more expensive from 2018 to 2019. And so what are installation companies doing now to try to find a way to lower that cost? The answer is they're using online bidding platforms more regularly. So between 2018 and 2019, twice as many installers say that they are using online bidding platforms, by which we primarily mean EnergySage, than other sort of sales tactics. And you'll see that that's the largest bump as a result of sort of everything that I was talking about there. So people are installing storage, consumers are online, and installers, the rest of your competition is increasingly online. So I'm going to pass it back to Kimberly. Oh, well, I guess I should also say, so who are we? Where does EnergySage fit into all of this? EnergySage is the country's leading solar marketplace. We have the most website visitors. We generate the most leads. We close the most sales. We have the highest customer satisfaction. I'm just reading, bullet points at this point. But suffice to say that we are the biggest player in terms of online solar shopping. And so we're excited to have a walkthrough of the consumer experience and the installer experience on EnergySage. And so with that, I'm going to pass control back to Kimberly.
Awesome. Thank you, Spencer. All right, just want to make sure everyone can see my screen okay.
All set.
Awesome, Spencer. That was awesome for setting the stage. So right now I'm going to walk you through a brief experience of the consumer UI. And so right here, this is the consumer setting up their project preferences. The first thing that they have to do is confirm their home on a map. We know sometimes Google is not always correct. And so the homeowner physically has to move the mouse, like move the marker onto the appropriate property and then actually confirm it. Okay, we also ask them, how do they want to communicate with the installers? Sometimes homeowners will provide their phone number and they prefer to have phone calls immediately. Some will share it with the installer after receiving a quote and having some, messages exchanged back and forth. Right? So we do allow for the consumer to set all of these preferences, again, in terms of how they want to communicate with the installer. There's also, text features internally for the Energy Advisor team, which I'll get to in just a moment. The homeowner can also, upload an electric bill. Okay, so you're able to download this electric bill to then provide the most accurate quote possible. We also break down the electric bill details. They can upload roof plans. They can indicate preferences for financing if they want to own their system. We do leave an option for leases and PPAs. However, only 90 of all the customers that go solar on EnergySage, 98% actually go with an ownership option, whether it's cash or finance. So even if there are folks who are interested in the lease or PPA option, it's not likely that they are to move forward with that. And that is because most people, as they're shopping online, they can understand the economics of owning the system. They typically move towards that route. We also ask them, relating to equipment, what is important to you? Again, all of these preferences is really meant for to help the installer provide the best, most accurate quote possible for the consumer. We ask them questions about their roof, what are their interests, what are their other interests relating to energy, right? Home energy assessments, EV charging, things like that. They can also opt in to receive storage alongside their PV quote. They can indicate other details. And they can also, this is very neat. So we also have a Beat My Quote feature. So if the homeowner received a quote from an installer outside of EnergySage, they can actually upload it, and you, the installer, can download it and then beat that quote. It's a really, really neat feature. So once they're able to provide this information, and then, give it a few hours, give it a couple of hours. From there, installers start to provide the quotes online. So we have a few different views in terms of, the consumer viewing the various quotes. This here, we internally call it the baseball card view. Essentially, it is a high level of all the quotes that came in. Okay, so I'll bring your attention here. Homeowners have the ability to sort by, when the quotes came in, highest saving, highest quality panel, lowest price per watt, right? We also highlight the uniqueness of your quote depending on your offering. And so if you look in the first section here of the baseball card view, it has more information about you. The homeowner can then click in to see your company profile, which we'll view in just a moment. They can also see your phone number. They can visit your website. They can, schedule a call or a visit with you, or even send you a message. Here, we talk through the pricing and the economics of your proposed system. And in this section here, we, show off the quality products that you are offering them. And you see in this section here, in that rectangle is actually where we highlight the, Eguana system that you're going to start quoting. So again, baseball card view. Very high level, and for the homeowners who might want a little bit more support, they can always talk to our team of EnergySage advisors. This team essentially will help the consumer choose your quote. The whole point of this team, their goal, their intention is to help more consumers go solar with an EnergySage installer. And so with this, the homeowner can schedule a call anytime with their energy advisor to specifically go through their quotes. And on this call, they actually review all the quotes in the side-by-side view. I like calling it the matrix view. It's a lot more information compact. So you can see here, again, I'll highlight the energy advisor team. So you see in the first row, essentially, is all of the installers that quoted. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see all the metrics within the quote displayed side by side for the consumer. The consumer can also just, kind of go direct and, look through the installer or the solar equipment, or they can also scroll, right? So notice how in the summary view, we highlight your labor warranty, electricity offset price per watt, the payback, right? And they can continue to scroll, and this is where we highlight more about you, the individual installer. Notice how ratings and reviews is the first metric that is shown. And so within your company profile, you're able to, get some ratings and reviews in there. We also have the EnergySage rating. It's a 3-tier rating, and as we go through, more data and insights, I'll show you how we actually calculate that and help you actually move up in the ranks. Again, more offerings like your labor warranty. We also target and show the distance from the consumer's house that you are quoting to your closest local office, because so many consumers want to work with a local installer. Right? We also have industry endorsements. If you are endorsed by Eguana, if you are endorsed by, the different panel manufacturers or the inverter manufacturers, it is then highlighted here, okay? Again, contact the installer. We really want them to engage with you, so we make it super easy. This is where we dive deeper into the equipment. You have the panels, you have the panel rating. It's a 5-tier rating system that Spencer will actually talk through in just a moment. And that is actually a really great tool to help you sell more solar on and off the platform. We also highlight the inverter model. Again, we have an inverter rating as well. If you have an image of the system design, it is then displayed here. And then you have, all the details about the system, right? More details. Again, lots of information for the consumer who loves research, data, and just, everything all on one page. It's a more seamless shopping experience for them. We also break down all of the quotes, over a 20-year period. We also are able to break down the loan options if provided. And here is where if you are providing PV plus storage, then your storage option will be shown here. So you can just imagine, it'll say Eguana, right? And then we have the, the prices for, for the battery as well, along with the loan. And again, highlighting the EnergySage advisor here, and then estimated savings over 20 years. So this is what the consumer sees as they receive a bunch of quotes coming in. And then from here, it's, we prompt them to either, engage with us or engage with you or select you as the installer of choice. So I hope that was enjoyable. I love watching this stuff. And I am now actually going to switch gears and go back into here. So I'm going to bring it back to Spencer, who's going to talk through tools for selling in a virtual world. I can just go into presentation mode.
Perfect. Thank you, Kimberly. So as Kimberly said, we have this really wonderful resource that is ideal for selling in a digital world called the Buyer's Guide. The Buyer's Guide is a unique tool that we developed that is a consumer-facing tool. It also is very helpful for installers, from what we've heard, that allows solar researchers to compare, to research, to compare, to learn about various pieces of solar equipment. We have this for solar panels, for solar inverters, and for solar batteries. If you go to energysage.com/solar-panels or solar-inverter or solar-batteries, that's where you will find the Buyer's Guide. Basically, what we've done is we've taken all of the spec sheets that have ever come through quotes in EnergySage, and we have added, uploaded all of the information from those spec sheets into a database that now is searchable, filterable, viewable, comparable by consumers, by installers. It's a really incredible resource and is a great way to, number one, allow consumers to compare, who want to get into the nitty-gritty of what is included in the equipment that they're installing on their roof, to compare directly across the various metrics and technical specifications. It's also a great tool for installers to be able to come here and talk through the various panels or inverters or batteries that are included in a specific customer's quote and say, okay, let's go ahead and compare them side by side beyond what you saw in the consumer view that Kimberly was just showing. One thing that I will draw your attention to just quickly is that overall rating. This is a 5-tier rating system, basically about the performance of a specific piece of equipment. We developed this in conjunction with the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, or NREL, and that is a great way as well to sort of differentiate your quote and your products from those that your competing installers are quoting. So again, if you want to check out this Buyer's Guide, it is at energysage.com/solar-panels. And then from there, you can click over to the inverters one or the batteries one.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, this is such a great tool. And how powerful is it as a salesperson sitting with a homeowner or even doing virtual calls, right? To point them to this and to be very objective, and really take more of an educational, consultative approach to the sale versus saying what most installers will say, oh, I can offer you the best equipment at the best price. Well, let's see how well the equipment is actually. So a great tool for that. So now I am going to talk through some more insights and data because these are also tools that you can use to sell more solar. So earlier in the consumer walkthrough, we showed you the the 3-tier rating system on EnergySage. So everyone who starts gets into the approved rating, and you can see here it's very transparent, right? There's 3 different categories: reputation, responsiveness, results, and you have a period of time to climb up the ranks, and we make it very easy for you to understand like what you need to do within this time frame in order to get into like the higher ranks. We make it very positive anyways, and so on the consumer side of things, if you're in the EnergySage family, it's always a plus. So here is the sales funnel performance. Again, lots of data, and really here you're able to see how well you're performing on the platform. Over a 90-day, 180, and 360-day rolling time frame, we'll tell you, okay, all the leads that we sent you. Of that, how many did you quote? Of that, how many consumers viewed your quotes and ultimately selected your quote here? We give you conversion percentages at each step. And we also help you see how well that compares to other installers who are quoting on the exact same leads. So for example, you see all of these numbers here in green. It's essentially saying within this time frame, you are performing 28.3% better than competing installers who are quoting on the exact same leads. So all of this data is actually very, very customized to you and to your account on the platform. We also share the market performance. So, for example, of all the leads that we sent you, all the opportunities received over the same 90, 180, 360 days, how many people ultimately went solar? How many went with you and how many went with competing installers, right? And you can also see here the, sales rep performance. So if you're an owner or a sales manager, you can see how many quotes did the salesperson, send out. What was their speed, right? Was it a few hours or was it like 2 weeks, right? How many did they close, and ultimately what is the close rate? All of this really is meant to help owners and managers and reps just perform at a very high level. We also provide data when it comes to your financing that you're offering. So if you can look here, so the blue dots are your quotes. Every time you send out a quote, that is one data point. And then you have all of the red dots, which are, competing installers, and every single quote that they send out for the same leads, right? And that is one data point. And so you can see over time, this, I believe, is a snapshot over a 30-day period, right? What is, are you competitive when it comes to financing? Does it make sense for you as a company to start getting more competitive financing so that you can close more sales and offer, better rates and, things like that, right? So you have the rates relative to the upfront fees of the dealer fees. Again, meant to help you make smarter decisions for your business. Here, we also share price per watt relative to system size. Again, the blue dots are all the quotes that you submitted. The red dots are all of the competing quotes that were submitted for the same leads. So over a 1-month period, you'll be able to see very clearly where do you stack rank when it comes to pricing. Again, relative to system size. But that's actually not the full picture. We also share the ratings that your products, that your quotes are receiving, and what are the ratings that other installers that are also quoting, what do they receive? And even more importantly, what about the specific panel brands? So you can see what you're offering and really what is the market, offering there. Right, we do the same thing for inverters. And because storage on EnergySage is a newer feature over the last few months, we will soon add that as well. And so from here, I will actually go into showing you over the next few minutes, just the installer experience so that you can see exactly how does a lead look like and how easy is it to quote on the platform, because we're all about a seamless user experience. So this is the installer dashboard. Again, we only have a few minutes, so I can't run through all the beauty and all the uniqueness, but I'm just going to take a look at this one for you so you can see exactly how a lead looks like when it comes in, okay? So you can see this here, you can see the map, you can see, some details from the customer along with like a power bill that they uploaded, the breakdown of the effective kilowatt hour rate. You can also contact your energy advisor, right? Specifically to the, who's managing this lead, and have them help you move the deal along, right? And then from there, you really just upload a quote. And the thing is, we were able to develop this feature where you can provide all your products and pricing and financing, quotes upfront on the back end, making it very easy for you to submit a quote. The average installer takes about 2 minutes to submit a quote online. And they upload those quotes using this method here. Okay, so you have all the information. You essentially select the products that you're already planning on providing. You select the specific financing model, and then, you know, depending on the rep, you can always select yourself or select another rep name. You enter in some details here. We have override options, and then you can review and confirm. And this typically takes, again, the average installer takes like 2 minutes or less to upload a quote once you get the hang of it, and it takes a few quotes submitted to get the hang of it. Okay, so it's really, really fast. And I think the last thing that I'll show you here is the company profile. So every installer has the ability to, you know, really customize, you know, your hero image, you know, about you. You can already start to get some ratings and reviews. Right, again, more about you, what technology you offer. You have a resource library where you can upload different, you know, videos and like images of like completed systems, or even like testimonies, or even company, you know, profile. Everyone loves seeing a team together. Industry certifications, endorsements, things like that. Right, and here's where all of, like, you know, the details of your office is actually shown as well. So lots of ways to really differentiate yourself and highlight who you are in the online world. I'll actually come back here. So I'm going to wrap up now, just so that way we can have enough time for Q&A. Let me just present here. So all of that led to this, winning on EnergySage. How do you do that? Honestly, being here for a little bit over 6.5 years now and working with so many flavors of installers, this is how you can ensure success. First and foremost, you know, we are not a lead gen company. We are a marketplace. And so as long as you, the installer, you're open and willing to learn something new, that is the first step. If you can do that and just be open, then this can work for you. Obviously, having a strong online presence is key, and being able to offer quality products at a fair price is going to be crucial. But also, quoting is really, you know, 20% of the game on the platform. It's always about following up and like responding promptly to customers. The follow-up is so important. That's going to be about 75 to 80% of your time. Follow up, follow up, follow up, and doing that very consistently. It's what's going to help you win sales. Here are a couple of quotes from installers that are currently on the platform. I'll actually read the one on the bottom right from Chris. Within the first 7 months, I sold 1.8 million in deals through EnergySage, give or take, which surpassed our expectations. This is just one testimony. We have so many of these. I was not able to fit it on the screen. And so I leave you with this. Actually, I'll leave you with two things. The first, to go off what Spencer was saying earlier, we are the #1 website for solar in the United States. You can see us here, this big blue chunk. Over time, look how much we've grown. And we've only been able to grow because we have an awesome pack set of installers that we work with. And so we would love to have more of you on the platform so that we can help grow the industry together. There is a promotion. If and when you apply and sign up and actually get in, we are offering a promotion uniquely to Eguana, such that the setup fee, which everyone has to pay a setup fee, but we will actually have your setup fee go towards opportunities purchased for the first month. So we can always discuss more later if you have questions, but I wanted to throw it out there. And that said, we want to thank you, everyone, for joining and listening in, and for all your questions and curiosities. Thank you.
That was terrific. Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks, Spencer. I think right now we have a few minutes. We can open it up for questions.
Okay, so we'll just allow everyone to just unmute if they have a question.
Is EnergySage active in Canada?
Not yet.
Is that on the radar or not specifically yet?
Yeah, that's a great question, Al. So it is on the radar at some point. There are, if and when EnergySage goes international is certainly an open question, but it is something that we've actively thought about, and I know our CEO has been talking to people about what that might look like and how to make it happen. Canada is clearly a natural next fit for EnergySage, given our partner installer network in the US, given all of our content is English language. And that our whole website is English language, but it's not necessarily something that is on the imminent time horizon. But thanks for asking.
Great, that's great to hear. Let's see, anybody else have a question?
I just wanted to say one thing. Someone had a question. We will be sending out the recording after the webinar, so everybody will receive that.
And if you have any questions for EnergySage, our emails are easy. We're still a small enough company that our emails are just our first name at EnergySage. So Kimberly at EnergySage or Spencer at EnergySage.com. Feel free to reach out to either of us. Oh, there you go. Can a customer, thank you, Michael, can a customer do a quote for an upgrade from solar to battery? At the moment, the quoting on EnergySage is just for solar plus storage, for new solar plus storage. However, that is something that we are working on doing more imminently than we're opening up in Canada. Yeah, so that is something that you can expect to see from EnergySage in the very near future.
Yeah, and one of the things I will say is that we found you guys through an installer of one of our installers out in California, in Southern California, Kimberly's customer. So that's how we found you guys. Yeah, Kimberly. And so we're thankful for that. And like you said, the value you guys bring to the marketplace, the efficiencies you guys create with homeowners, saving them money, and also saving the installers. I work for an installer, went door to door when I started 10 years ago. I know how much money gets poured into that marketing. So if you guys can make it simpler and the leads come, like if I was a contractor, like I'd sign up like today, so. Anybody else have a question?
Says Eguana has both 13 kWh using LG Chem battery and 14 kWh battery now. Yes, our NMC, the Eguana Evolve NMC, starts at 13 kWh and it is expandable to 26. And the new LFP solution, or I apologize, the NMC is expandable to 39. And the new LFP solution right now is 14, expandable to 28, and we'll go up to 42 also probably by Q1 of this upcoming year.
Wade, thanks for raising your hand. Feel free to unmute if you have a question. Okay, well, never mind. But
I think one thing that I wanted to add that I did not add earlier is that if you are interested, we do have an application process. And so if you go to energysage.com/installers with an S, you'll see the application page right on there. There's also a couple of videos and just more information about EnergySage and why you might want to join. So I want to throw it out there again, energysage.com/installers with an S.
Perfect, and looks like we have another question. Indra asks if expanding our battery solutions use just one inverter. Yes. So we start with the main Evolve system, which starts at either the 13 or 14 kWh. And then we add extension packs on there, which makes it exceptionally cost effective also. So that's correct. We also have right now the power rating for our valve is 5 kW, and actually coming out in Q1 of this coming year, we'll move up to a 10 kW power rating, which is really exciting
Very
to
cool.
cover even more loads.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks everybody for taking the time, and we really appreciate it. Again, like Courtney mentioned, this webinar has been recorded, and so we will distribute it after the fact. If you are interested in taking advantage of the promotion that Kimberly mentioned, again, feel free to follow up with Kimberly or to go to the link that she was just talking about, and hope that you get to sell some storage soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.